Hey everybody, happy Wednesday evening live tutorial stream. Sorry we're a little late. We had a flurry of business at the end of the day at Beading Dreams tonight, which is absolutely fantastic because it's nice when we get that nice last kick over the top from it's like, it's a sort of mediocre day to, hey, it's a good day and now I can pay the rent for another, week. So hooray for that. Welcome back to the Beading Dreams stream. Live tutorial again. Let me take a breath and try and focus. So tonight's project is a wire wrapped earrings project. We're going to be doing this one. I've called it the Flora earrings because once again I always name classes at like 3 o'clock in the morning, so they get a little bit weird sometimes, the names of them, but yeah, Flora earrings is what we're doing. It's a wire wrapped earring project. So let's talk about tools and supplies for this evening's tutorial. And I was in a hurry, so I didn't write any links on the board. So Lori, since I know you're taking notes, I will give links when I talk about the sizes of wires. So we are going to need, oh, oopsie. Nobody tell Heather she was just on camera there for a minute. So you're going to need some 20 gauge wire, and you're going to need about 16 inches of wire. It's going to take about 8 inches per earring. So
I sure am.
Well, you were. I turned you off. Sorry, I forgot. I need to, help me remember, I need to turn off the Heather cam at the end of this Saturday night sale stream. Like, I need to turn it off before I close XSplit. Otherwise, things like this happen. Okay, so.
Oh, whatever.
You need about 8 inches of wire.
I wasn't picking my nose.
Well, that's fair. 8 inches of wire per earring, so that's 16 inches of 20 gauge wire. And then you're going to need 26 gauge wire. You're going to need about 4 feet of that, 2 feet per earring. You're going to need beads, and I'm going to use beads of 2 different sizes. So you need more of the small size than the big size. So depending on how big your big beads are, mine that I'm using tonight are actually slightly smaller than the ones I used on my sample. So you're going to need 16 to 20 of your larger beads, which can be anywhere from 3 to 4 millimeter, and then you're going to need about 35 to 45 of your smaller beads, which can be about 2 millimeter size. As far as tools go, you're just going to need ye old basics. That is going to be your round nose pliers, your chain nose pliers, that's those, and your wire cutters. And additionally for this, you're going to need something a little bit larger like a Sharpie. And that's just going to be to bend your ear wires over to make this. Now, I've designed this with an integrated ear wire. If you like the look of a free swinging ear wire, you could absolutely just trim this wire off right here and then take a conventional ear wire and put it through that loop right there. You could also finish with a wire wrapped loop. So lots of options available for you there. So I'm going to start by cutting my wire. So again, 16 inches, that's 2 8-inch pieces of my 20 gauge wire. Now, when you're doing something like this, if you are going to do it with the integrated ear wire as I've designed it, you don't want to use anything that's bigger than 20 gauge wire because you don't want, bye, happy choir rehearsal, you don't want to well, no, let me rephrase that. It's not comfortable for most people to put any wire that's larger than 20 gauge through their ears. So 18 gauge, if you're going to add an additional ear wire, like a non-integrated ear wire, is going to work just fine. But if you're doing the design, like I said, as I have it made, you don't want to do 18 gauge wire because that's going to be uncomfortable for a lot of people to put through their ear. Now, that's not everybody. Some people have larger ear holes and it's not a problem for them, but just as far as the general population goes, it's not usually comfortable for most people who've had their ears, commercially pierced at Claire's when they were 5 years old, like I did, and such and things. So I'm also going to go ahead and cut my 26 gauge. That's going to be 2 2-foot pieces. Hey, there's more people. Hi people, happy Wednesday. How's everybody's Wednesday going? Lori made antipasta. I am jealous because I have had exactly 2 glasses of wine and some peanuts and a tiny amount of sushi to eat today, and my stomach is not happy with that. It wants me to eat everything in front of me, which is great, except for nothing in front of me is edible except for the wine. So yeah, once again, talking about food on the Beading Dream stream. Anyway, continuing on. I don't even know where I was going with that sigh, except for the fact that I'm really looking forward to shoving some food in my face in between streams. Oh, Lori also made nectarine syrup and pear and apple sauce. Now you're just rubbing it in. That's just mean. You know what, Heather? If you want to order food, I can buy. But I can't order food and teach a class.
What do you want?
Anything that's not vegetable-y is fine.
Okay.
You pick.
Okay.
I had to teach the people how to make the earrings.
Okay.
Alright, so, Lori's just being meaner and meaner and meaner. What about Shake Shack?
Okay. Sounds awesome.
Do you know what my order from there usually is? Oh, you know what? Actually, let me give you my phone because I have the Eats Pass. Hi, stream. Welcome to Heather and Allison ordering food. I'm sure this is exactly what you tuned in for tonight, isn't it? Like, yes, let me just watch these people on stream feed themselves. Which, to be fair, is, you know...
That is a thing. Except we're not even eating. We're just...
Oh, okay. I actually think this might be an order that was just you and I, but feel free to add whatever you want to it. Okay, so anyway, now I'm going to get back to teaching things. I lost 2 viewers while discussing Heather and my dinner order. I do have a gluten-free bun on there, right?
You do?
I hope. Oh, good. I love it when I order, you know, based on my own allergy preferences. Wow. So let's try and focus and teach this tutorial. So I'm going to take my 20 gauge wire. I'm going to start with my round nose pliers. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make this spiral at the bottom. So the way that something like this often works is you're going to make the frame and then we're going to embellish it with the beads. So I'm going to start with my round nose at the very bottom of my wire, as close to the end as I can get, and I'm just going to turn that into the smallest circle I can possibly make, and it's going to get caught on all of my tech that you can't see on the camera, so that's super awesome. Okay, so there's my circle. Now I'm going to take my chain nose pliers and I'm going to hold across my circle like so, and I'm just going to take my thumb and I'm going to pull that wire up, or push that wire up, so that it rides along the edge of my circle. And then once I've reached the point where I can't move that any further because my pliers are in the way, I'm just going to rotate back, grab again, and then push up. And so what's going to start happening here, as you can see, is starting to make my spiral. And I don't want this to be a giant spiral, so I'm just going to go around, you know, that's like two times is good for my spiral. And then I can make my little viney bits. So basically I'm going to make a curve and then a loop and then a curve. And then here's a funny thing. So when I was doing my sample, you'll notice that I got a little confused as to which side of the curve I should make my loop on. All right, am I going to make it on the underside or on the top side? And the answer to that is really, it doesn't matter. And I think one of the cool things about these earrings is that they don't have to match exactly. So I'm going to grab my marker, and I want to make my first curve so that it's opposing the direction of my spiral. So I'm just going to bend my wire over my marker, like so. If your spiral gets a little bit twisted, no big deal. And then I'm going to make my first circle. So literally it's up to you. You can make it either going up or going down, because I did it both ways when I was doing my samples. so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do it going, I think, down from that curve. So I'm just gonna take my round nose pliers, I'm gonna take the fattest part of my pliers, grab right where that curve ends, and then I'm just gonna rotate around. Now at this point, I have a problem. If I keep rotating this wire, I'm gonna bump over the top of these pliers, and that's not gonna make a very pretty circle. So I just need to rotate my pliers out of the way so that I can continue my circle. So the goal here is, when you get to the end of your circle, you basically want to have a continuous line going here. And of course, when you're doing that, you want to make extra sure that you don't get down onto the square part of your pliers. Okay, we're going to make a circle here. That means we want it to be round. Now I'm going to take my marker and I'm going to bend my wire the other way, like so. And so once again, I can do that circle either way. I'm going to go again downwards. So, like so. And we're going to rotate that wire around. So notice my pliers at this point are staying stationary, and all I'm doing is rotating that wire around to form around my pliers. Once again, this is in the way, so we're going to go ahead and rotate. And go like that. And then we've got one more curve with our marker, and then we're at the top. Now, of course, it bears mentioning that you can make these as long or as short as you want. For me, I've reached the top, so then I'm going to take my round nose pliers and I'm going to grab this time with the tiniest part of my pliers, and I'm just going to circle that around, doing the same thing so that I can get a loop that goes essentially straight up on the central axis of this kind of viney bit. And I screwed up a little bit here because I should have pulled that a little bit tighter, like so. So what you're gonna have if you flip it to the side is you are gonna have a double coil there. You're gonna have two loops stacked on top of each other at that point. And that is frame number 1. Now let's do frame number 2. So again, I'm going to start at the bottom, grab with my round nose and roll around, and then take my chain nose and just curl, curl, curl. So making a spiral is just a matter of baby steps, and since we're making a pair of earrings, we want for this to be similarly sized to the one we did before, which it is. When you lay them on top of each other, they match, yeehaw. So then we go back to our marker. So again, we're gonna spin that or bend that over our marker. So what we want when we're doing this is we want everything to be flat and the same plane, essentially. Okay, when I bent that over my marker, it twisted, okay? So my spiral came out of plane with my loop, with my curve. That's really easy to fix. All you have to do is bend it like so. Now we're gonna make our circle. I will say, I think it's a little easier doing it under than over. When I was doing the over ones, I felt that it was a little awkward. So I'm just gonna go around, around, around. Again, don't forget, when you hit that jaw of your pliers, stop. Rotate your pliers out of the way. Oh hey, people came back now that we're, you know, teaching a class and not actually ordering dinner. It's amazing how that works.
That is amazing.
All right, so once again, you want your circles finished when you have essentially a straight line. Now I'm going to take my marker, I'm going to bend this back the other way. You know, this is life at the bead store. Sometimes you don't get to, sometimes you forget to bring food, and then you don't get to order food, and then all the customers come at the very end of the day and they all need help, and they're all lovely and delightful, and some of them make amazing miniatures. Oh my god, one of our clients, one of our last clients of the day, makes such gorgeous miniatures. I'm like in awe.
She joined Too Small.
Did she?
Yes.
Yay. She's gonna like own, I think she might be shocked when she goes viral on Too Small. Okay, and then third one is going to, again, take our marker, go the other way, like so, and then now we're up at the top for our little tiny loop. So grab with the small, speaking of small, smallest part of your pliers, pull around, and when you're doing a tiny loop like this, you have to pull pretty hard, so don't be timid about pulling the wire. And then move your pliers, keep pulling, hit your camera, that's part of the process, I promise. If you get something like this where I made my loops well, but I didn't do a good job of getting them actually, you know, squished against each other, this is where your chain nose pliers are your friends. Just press down with that, and we do want to keep rotating this all the way until the center is the word I'm looking for.
That was my fault.
It
I will own
was
that.
actually 100% Heather's fault because of the comment that she just posted.
Yep, my fault.
I'm going to punish you with grilled cheese and french fries.
Dang it. Oh, she's so mean to me, y'all.
I mean,
I
really
deserve it,
am.
though.
Pretty terrible person. Okay, so now let's embellish these with some beads. So this embellishment's pretty simple. We're just going to take the small beads on the large curves and then the large beads on the circles. So we start with our 26 gauge wire. Again, these are two 2-foot pieces of 26 gauge wire, and we're going to start by anchoring them right down here at the bottom. Now here's a good trick to help you hold that wire while you're anchoring it. Stick it through that loop in the spiral. It makes it really easy to pinch it. And then you're going to wrap it around 3 or 4 times right at the base of your earring. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if you did a sucky job of wrapping it like I just did, you can use your fingernail to squish those close together like so. This is eventually going to get cut off. My advice is don't cut it off quite yet, because what happens sometimes if you cut this off right now is when you're doing your wrapping, you'll just start spinning this around, and that doesn't make for a good anchor point if it's not, you know, anchored. Hey people, there's more people. Hi more people. Welcome to the Beading Dreams Wednesday night stream. We are making this earring for anybody who needs to catch up. We've made our frames and we are about to start adding our beads. So for my project this evening, and I realized I didn't even show these, I just said beads. You need small beads and large beads. So I have some 3mm little faceted rubies that I'm using for my small beads, and then I have some 3.5mm faceted tourmalines that I'm using for my big beads. Now this size disparity is not as dramatic as what I used on my prototype, so I'm interested to see what the difference aesthetically is going to be. So I need to cut open my ruby strand, and so now I'm going to go ahead and string. Is it 4 or is it 5? It should be 5. It's 5. I can't count. I'm going to string 5 rubies onto that wire. So I'm just going to pull 5 rubies off of my strand and string them onto that wire right in row 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I find it pretty much impossible to actually string tiny beads onto the wire solely by looking at the camera view, so that's interesting. There's 5. Maybe, come on. Yes. Okay, so I've got my 5 beads on there. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to take this bead that's closest to my wire. I'm gonna hold it on the outside of my wire. Notice I'm holding my other 4 beads in my other hand so that they don't fall off of the wire. And then I'm just gonna wrap that wire around my frame once and half again so that that bead gets suspended on the outside of my frame. Then I'm just gonna drop the next bead in, and 1 1/2, 1/3, there's the 4th. Oh, oopsie. So that's actually the 5th. You know why that's the 5th? Because I accidentally dropped 2 at the same time. Now that's actually a good cheat if you're looking to make your project go faster, is you can drop your beads in groups instead of individuals. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and leave that. We're going to go on to my bigger beads. So now I'm just going to transition by taking my wire through this loop, and that means I am going to have to grab the end of my wire, stick it through that loop, pull it tight. So now I'm ready to wrap my tourmaline beads around the outside of this loop. So on my prototype I used 4 because they were 4mm. I'm pretty sure for this I'm going to have to use 5 because they are 3.5mm, so we'll see how it goes. Now on this, rather than stringing them all at once, I usually do them one at a time just because it requires a little bit more kind of manipulation of this wire, and it's a lot more likely that those beads are going to fall off. So I'm going to do them one at a time. So again, my guess is I'm going to need 5, so that's 1. All right, same thing. Hold it on the outside, take the end of your wire, go up through that circle, pull it through nice and carefully so you don't get any kinks, and then 1 time through with no bead. I know, right? This is where it gets fun, trying to keep the wire away from the cat, where it gets fun trying to keep the wire from tangling and everything in your workstation, hitting yourself in the glasses. Like, there's all kinds of things at this point where the wire is just like everywhere, and is sometimes less than fun. Alright, so this is 2 of my large beads. So again, when we're doing this, the goal here is we just want to hold these on the outside of our wire armature. So I've got that bead on the outside. I'm going to go through the center. I'm going to try real hard not to stab myself in the finger. May or may not work. And I'm going to pull that through. And 1 more time. Oh, that's a bummer. My cats like to try and catch the wire in their mouth, which is just, you know, weird, but also cats are weird, so, you know, I really shouldn't be surprised by this. So that's 3, so I think my theory about 5 beads was correct. Go me. Woo. Through. Make sure you push enough through that you can actually get a hold of it with your fingers. And 1 more. Okay, so this last one is going to tuck right in there. It's going to go up through this loop. And by it, I mean the wire. And then we're just going to transition back to this next curve. And if we're going to follow the design that I did, we're going to now do wire on the outside of this curve with my small beads. That's going to again be 5 beads strung onto my wire. So while I'm doing that, let's go ahead and talk about what's next on the Beading Dream stream. It is, of course, Wednesday evening live merchandise sale night, so that means we are going to be following up about 30 minutes after the end of this stream with a live merchandise sale that's going to be probably, just judging by the time it is now, around 7:45 p.m. This evening I have 1 more tray of cubic zirconia Pave Charms. I've gotten through all of the tiny shinies. We've got plenty of other shinies, so we're going to have CZ Pave Charms and some other cool shiny stuff for you this evening on the Beading Dreams stream. Of course, we do live merchandise sales every Wednesday and every Saturday at 7:30 p.m. on twitch.tv/Beading Dreams. So now I've got those 5 beads. I'm just going to start wrapping them around that outside. Let's see, and we do have lots of new merchandise here on the Beading Dreams stream, and of course in our store at Beading Dreams on Lovers Lane, because I am still relatively newly back from a shopping trip at the Denver Gem and Mineral Showcase. So lots of fun stuff here on the Beading Dreams stream and at the Beading Dreams actual location as well. We've got a fun week for you this week. We have, of course, tomorrow we've got our Thursday lunchtime stream. That's going to be a fun little stringing and chain project, or triple decker necklace. That's tomorrow at noon. And then of course tomorrow at 6 p.m. is going to be our Torch Thursday project. We're doing our half circle earrings, which we have done before on stream, but it has been a bit of a minute since we did that. And then next week we're going to have some fun stuff for you as well, including our Gemstone Energy retrograde remedy tutorial to help you get ahead of this funk of the Mercury retrograde. We're going to be doing tassel making. Hopefully I'll have a soldered ring class for you. It's the same one I was going to do last week, and again couldn't quite get it to work, so hopefully this week it'll decide to cooperate. And then the following week is going to be, and then Friday is going to be Freeform Friday, where Heather and I are going to be making costume accessories for our Halloween costumes.
Yay!
Don't forget, this Friday is our Zoom Crafty Cocktail Hour. So that is going to be fun. We're going to be on Zoom from 6 to 8 p.m. It's been a million years, it feels like, since I've seen all of your beautiful faces. So if you've Zoomed with us before, the meeting information should still be the same. We will, of course, post that on Discord. And you can always email us, beadingdreamsdallas@gmail.com. Do you need me to unlock that? To get that meeting information if you don't have it. And then Halloween week is going to be Spoopy week on the Beading Dreams stream. We're going to be doing all kinds of Halloween themed tutorials, which is going to be loads of fun. So yes, things and stuff, and it's Spoopy season, and we're very excited about that here on the Beading Dreams stream, and excited for Zoom. I'm excited for Zoom on Friday because it's been forever since I saw everybody. Missed you all.
Agreed.
I think Heather's missed you too.
I have.
So cheers to Zooming.
Yeah. We should try the Thai basil simple syrup and have the 2.0.
2.0?
Yeah.
Fair. For Saturday or for Friday?
For Friday.
Got it. So what you're saying is I need to chop some Thai basil before we leave tonight so I can make Thai basil simple syrup?
Yeah.
Okay. Help me remember that then.
Okay.
Thanks.
Stream. Help us remember.
Help Allison and Heather remember that they need to harvest some Thai basil so that they can make Thai basil simple syrup, so that they can attempt 2.0 version of the cocktail with which Allison embarrassed herself on stream on Saturday night.
It could have been worse.
It could have been better. Ahem. So now, alright, so this one, I made this loop a little smaller. You can even see it on camera, so this one only took 4. So now I'm going to transition back to this, and I'm going to do my 5 rubies on the outside. Except for that ruby is broken. You are kicked off the island.
No.
Also, y'all, I am very excited that I found my white glitter, so I can actually do my Halloween necklace. I was having that moment of like, I need to order white glitter. I have white glitter. I'm going to be stubborn and not order white glitter, even though I can't find my white glitter. Yeah. That moment. But hey, y'all, I found my white glitter. Very excited. The problem was I decided to change its location and change its packaging into these cute little test tubes that I found at a thrift store, which I'm assuming were sterile and not containing any chemicals, but you know, we're just gonna say ignorance is bliss in this instance. But then I changed their location and therefore could not find them, which is really why I should never clean or organize anything ever in my life. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. I think Heather's looking for cocktails for Saturday. What'd you find?
This is the Lucien Gaudin.
Ooh, it's Frenchy.
Yes.
It is, hi Corvus, it is white powder. It's white glittery powder though, so I would definitely not recommend snorting this powder unless you want to be in a world of hurt. Don't snort the glitter. That's right up there on the button list with don't eat the beads, don't snort the glitter. So what is in this, Heather postulates that she has a cocktail for Saturday night. What is in this cocktail, Heather?
Gin, Cointreau, Campari, and dry vermouth.
Okay. We have at least 2 of those things.
We have all of those things. I have some.
Okay. Cool.
I'm okay with sharing.
Well, thanks.
You always share with these. Or
Okay, so voila. Those are
make
all...
some allspice dram.
Oh. I may or may not have the bandwidth for that this week, but we can figure that out. Okay, so that's all of my beads added. Let it be noted that you don't need 2 feet of wire for this because I'm about to trim off a solid foot of wire from this, but I'm going to go ahead and trim these ends. Nice and flush. Not the big wire. Trim the little wires, not the big wires, just saying. Alright, and then we're going to press our ends down so that we don't have any pointy stabbies. So we're going to get that out of there. And then we're going to find our chain nose pliers. And we're going to go squish gently. And squish gently. So your goal here is you just don't want to have any rough ends that are going to be poking up and stabbing anyone's clothing, or stabbing anyone's skin, or snagging their clothing. Now, to make your ear wire, usually what did I do? Okay, so what I did on my prototype was I took the curve from the back, but honestly I don't think it matters as long as you do it the same in both earrings. So I'm just going to take my marker and I'm going to bend my wire over. That's going to make my ear wire shape. I don't necessarily need it to be this long, so I can go ahead and cut it a little bit shorter, like so. You know, I like to make my little kick out at the end of my earring, and then you can go ahead and file that end down, file or sand it down. I happen to have an emery board within arm's reach, so we just want to make sure that we sand away all the sharp and pointy parts of that wire so that you can run your finger over it and it doesn't feel stabby, and that way it will feel comfortable to go in your ear. So there is earring number 1. Now let's go ahead and just rocket our way through earring number 2. So we're going to start by anchoring our wire onto our frame. I'm going to wrap that around 1, 2, 3, 4 times, making sure not to overlap it. You can squish that down with your thumbnail or any fingernail of your choice, honestly. I'm going to string 5 of my small beads, in this case that's my rubies, onto that wire. Wow, really? I found the hole! That's what he said. Yeah! I just got Heather with that one. 2, 3, 4. 5. Okay. Alright, so now we've got our beads, and so once again, we're going to hold 1 bead on the outside, and we're going to wrap twice, and then the next bead, wrap twice, and then the next bead, four, And again, you can vary the size of this earring. You can change the size of this bit. You can change the size of this bit. You know, there's a whole lot of freedom that you can have in this. All right, ta-da! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, sorry. Itchy eye. And now we're going to transition to this. This is the part when I was doing my prototype, surprisingly, that I actually found a little tricky. You got to make sure you go up through the center. If you go from the outside down, you get this really weird kind of attenuated piece of wire that just doesn't look very pretty. Okay, so now we're going to go for 4 or 5 around the outside here. Those are our bigger beads. So again, we're going to take one, hold it around the outside, go up through the center, so that it winds up like so, and then we're going to do one wrap with no bead. Hee hee! Corvus is decorating with skulls and spoopies. That's exciting. Oh, I enjoy Halloween decor quite a lot. I don't necessarily have the energy to or the inclination really to like Halloween decorate my house, but I truly enjoy everybody else's efforts. You know, in that vein. So I really do enjoy looking at everybody's spoopy Halloween decorations. I don't necessarily want to make my own spoopy Halloween decorations, but definitely like everybody else's. So thank you on behalf of all of us lazy folks out there for everybody who does take the effort to decorate your house for spoopy season. We like it. And also just general fall decorations as well are also acceptable. Pumpkins and the like. Corvus is going to make her home as scary as can be. That's right, scare all those little shits away. Alright, so that's 4. I'm going to do one more because I think that this curve is calling for 5. And we're going to go like so. Oh my gosh. That would be hilarious, Corvus. Alright, and then we're going to transition back to this, and so this one's going to take 5. I can go ahead and string 5 rubies on. The only reason I'm not stringing all of my 4 or 5 tourmaline beads on at the same time is just because it's a lot more manipulating of your wire. It's harder to do if there are beads on there, and it's more likely that the beads are just going to fall off the end of the wire. And then you have to string them twice, which is nobody's idea of a good time. 1, 2, yes, I'm blind, is what it is. 4, 5. Ha! Now I can see you all again. Let go of my necklace. Nobody likes you. Okay, so then I'm going to take these and... again, hold 1 and wrap twice. So obviously this goes a lot faster when you're not going through a circle. So that's the part of this project that, you know, you kind of get stalled out on as far as not being able to just chug merrily along. But it's not a very big project, so that's nice in that you know, yes, it's going to take a little bit of extra time to do those circles, but there's only 4 of them on the project, so it's not like it's a massive amount of extra time invested. That being said, if you were like, oh crap, I need to go to a birthday party with these right now, you know, you can only do 1 circle. and that would take less time. Or you could do 2 smaller circles that were only, say, 3 beads instead of 5 beads. Okay, so now we're back to this. Again, I'm going to make that transition by going up through my circle like so. Okay, so I have a kink in my wire. This is something that does happen when you're doing this. That's this right here. So the easiest way to fix those is just take your chain nose pliers, smash that down flat, and then just kind of smooth it out with your fingers. Okay, so now we're to this circle, so it's going to be either 4 or 5 tourmaline beads. On the other earring it was 4, so we'll see. Well, to be fair though, it's a nice, like, you know, it's a nice talent to have if you're like, oh shoot, I gotta go to a thing and I need a gift and I got nothing. You know, you can knock something together. I'm not saying you have to make earrings, new earrings every time you go out. I mean, that's a little extra, Corvus. But, you know, sometimes you find yourself in a bind and you're like, oh wait, I have raw materials in 15 minutes. What can I put together? If you're not talking to the internet, this is more of a 30-minute project. I'd say to make this work, you need raw materials in 30 minutes, but still, it's a fairly quick project. If you've got 15 minutes, make some stretchy bracelets. Make some stretchy bracelets and put them around the neck of a bottle of wine. Which reminds me, maybe, do I want to do like wine decorating? Since holiday season is coming up and hostess gifting and all of that. Tomorrow is my samples day where I have to figure out what my content's going to be for next week. So I've got, you know, 2 classes out of 4.
Yeah, why not? It's fun.
Alright, so I'm almost done. Yay. Okay, so this one's going to be 5. Alright, on the other earring it was 4, but this one there's 5. Oh yes, Heather made adorable earrings for tonight's stream, and incidentally, we will be selling the components from which she made her earrings.
Hey, that's a great idea.
I know, isn't it nice how sometimes, very occasionally, we have our shit together? Only very occasionally, though. But yes, there will be the last of the brand new CZ Pave charms on tonight's stream. Alright, and then I'm just going to finish it out with 5 rubies. Plus some beads of some sort. I'm not quite sure which. We are done with Tiny Shinies. We did those all on Saturday, but we're going to find something fun for you tonight. Once I get off stream, I'm going to be stuffing hamburger in my face and finding cool things to try and sell you all on this evening's live sale stream. We have no shortage of new merchandise. I just need to figure out what new merchandise is going to be on the stream, just to be clear. It's not like we don't have any beads, because trust me, that is not the problem we have. But the components that Heather made her earrings out of are really stinking cute. Alright, so now we're just going to wrap them on. 1. She used to shimmy it all the way down, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I'm going to finish it by wrapping it around 3 or 4 times. Trim this, trim our beginning piece. Alright, make sure to, alright, so I've got my trims, and I'm going to just press down my pointy stabby ends if I can get to them. If you can't get to them, then you don't need to press them down, because if you can't get to them, they can't get to you. So that one was kind of tucked itself in there, which was nice, but this one I need to get. Yes, the prices of beads definitely went up, and then of course the prices of everything else, like car rental, gas, etc. So the prices of, you know, getting the beads is also going up. So yeah, it's definitely a thing where the costs of operating everything have gone up, and it's crazy trying to kind of make that work. But I am lucky to have lots of great vendors who will always do the best they can for me, and we truly appreciate that. So now I'm just going to bend my ear wire like so. I'm going to give it a quick double check to make sure I didn't make it taller than my other one, and I didn't. I'm going to trim it off at the same length. As my other earring. Take your chain nose pliers if you're so inclined, and just make that little kick out at the end. That's not necessary, it's just an aesthetic thing that I like to do. And then grab your emery board that you just put away because you're silly. Grab your emery board and just go ahead and file that end until you can run your finger over it and it doesn't hurt. And that means that you can put it in your ear without lacerating yourself. And those are, dun, 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 our Flora earrings. So thank you all so much for hanging out on the Beading Dreams Wednesday evening live tutorial stream for these, our Flora earrings class. For anybody out there who doesn't know me, hey, I'm Allison from Beading Dreams in Dallas, Texas. We are an actual brick and mortar retail bead store, and we are here on Lover's Lane in Dallas 6 days a week to feed your need to bead. We are here Monday through Saturday from 1 p.m. until 6 p.m. If you're not local in Dallas, of course, you can find us on this channel, twitch.tv/beadingdream, 5 times a week with complimentary tutorials. We're here Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday evenings, plus Thursdays at noon, and live merchandise sales every Wednesday and every Saturday at 7:30 p.m. So, or 7:45. It's 7:15. That means tonight's sale is going to start at 7:45. So, I'm going to go feed my face, pick merchandise for the sale, and we'll see you all back on this channel, twitch.tv/beadingdream in half an hour for the sale. All right, everyone take care. We'll see you soon.